This is for the one who ain't never had a love, yeah. This one's for the girl who don't feel like she's enough, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's for the cool kid playing on the school team, crying to himself cause he never had the prom queen. Head full of wants, but they said it's just a pipe dream, yeah. This one's for the kids like me, they never had one thing. The ladies always turn their cheek, but they ain't let the fat ones sing. This was for the kids like me, kept working when they had nothing. When people try to take their dreams, they stuck it to them, please don't change. For the nerds and the misfits, bullied by the rich kids, feel like they're alone even though they never did shit. Binging anime to find somebody they could fit with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's for the people who ain't ever give a fuck, for the people who are down and they just feel like giving up. And this is for the people fighting thoughts that they're stuck. Yeah. This one's for the kids like me, they never had one thing. The ladies always turn their cheek, but they ain't let the fat ones sing. This was for the kids like me, kept working when they had nothing. When people try to take their dreams, they stuck it to them, please don't change. When we get knocked down, we get back up. No, 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 we're not gonna take it. When we get knocked down, we get back up. No, 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 we're not gonna take it. Get knocked down, you get back up. Nah, 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 we're not gonna take it. Yeah.
Welcome, one and all, to this election eve show of the Alex Cuesta Show. I am David Cuesta. I am your host for this evening. And for this show, it's all going to be election stuff. It's not going to be too long. I'm just going to go over a couple things that happened today, a couple very good things for Trump that happened today, actually. But first, let me get into the preamble. The Epstein client list, we need it. We need to see it. We need to see those that partook in those types of actions in order for them to be brought to justice. Next, for those that were affected by Hurricane Helene and Milton, please do whatever you can to help them. They are still going to need help. Everyone's down in this economy. They're even worse in this economy. And then finally, Moms for Liberty. If you are voting for Trump, you are most likely on the side of Moms for Liberty. If you could give $1 for Moms for Liberty, it helps. And they are doing everything they can to keep this indoctrination out of our schools so our next generation doesn't go along with everything that has torn this country apart in the first place. So getting right into the show, I wanted to start this off with something a little doomerism, a little doomerism on just the state of the country right here. So Jesse Kelly tweets out, "Know what's wild? The election is tomorrow, and we have to bank on one of the two parties winning, or we won't have a border again for 4 years. It's not supposed to be like that. No matter what happens tomorrow, we can't survive long term like this. Democrats have to change." And this is just accurate. We have one party that does not believe in America like they used to. They simply do not care about it like they used to. When you have an open border, you are not a nation state. You are not a nation nor a state at all. And everyone knows this. Even those that keep the borders open know this. And they don't hide the fact that they don't really like America the way it is. They want to change it to whatever their idealized view of it is, which has nothing to do with how America was founded and the way people generally like America today. The reason why people come to America, the American dream that they search for. This is something that they want to tear down. This is something that they've been actively tearing down. We have seen it in the 4 years of Biden and Harris, and it would continue with another 4 years of Harris in charge if she is elected tomorrow or Wednesday or whenever the hell the election gets over. So one of the biggest reasons to vote for Trump is the fact that he at least seems like he loves America and loves the people in it. And it's a way to stave off the destruction of something that we generally love and something that has not been cherished in a long time, which is our country. So moving on from that, another great reason to vote for Trump, to be completely honest with you, another great reason, Yuval Noah Harari says Trump will destroy the global order. Now, this guy, Noah Harari, right here, he has been involved in a lot of shady stuff. Talks about how humans can be. You're all good, Nate. Coach's show just wrapped. That's awesome. Yeah, what's up, Nate? There's honestly a bunch of shows going on right now that I was watching some things before I started this stream, but there's a bunch of shows going on right now that are pretty fun. But Noah Harari is a guy who's been involved in a lot of shady stuff, involved with WEF. I believe he wrote a book on transhumanism and how humans can be programmed and all these types of things. And he's one of the people that believes in the fact that, you know, you should eat the bugs, you should live in the pods in order for the betterment of everyone, of the collective. So we'll listen to this clip right here. I haven't listened to the full thing, but it seems like he's coping on if Trump's going to win. And it almost seems like he thinks that's a good possibility. And that's good to hear. I want to hear this guy seething. I want to hear this guy upset.
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says it openly. Now, again, it should be clear that many of these politicians, they present a false dichotomy, a false binary vision of the world, as if you have to choose between patriotism and globalism, between being loyal to your nation and being loyal to some kind of, I don't know, global government or whatever.
Are you concerned that Trump...
Weirdly enough, this is the guy who's actually brought that dichotomy onto people, because all the bits of globalism that he has pushed people away from the patriotism of their country. It's a very obvious after effect of the globalism that's being pushed, people not embracing their nationality, people going against their traditions, ones that actually work, ones that are actually good, people going against their culture, people forgetting their culture. Consistently. You ask many Americans nowadays, they probably don't even exactly know what American culture is. They wouldn't be able to tell you. And that's sad. It's really sad. You ask a lot of Americans nowadays about just the general civics of our country. How does it work? They don't know. They wouldn't be able to tell you. It's sad, and it's not how a nation can be run. It's not how a nation can sustain itself. And this... not this guy. I don't want to shade this guy, even though he's talking to Yuval. This guy is one of the ones that has pushed stuff that has made people forget about those types of things. So he's saying there's some kind of false dichotomy there, but there really isn't. He's still one of the ones that have brought this upon people. So he can get the hell out of here. I'm excited if this guy's worried. I am incredibly excited if this guy's worried. And we'll move on. Colin Rugg puts out this tweet here of Elon on Joe Rogan, which dropped today, earlier this evening. Huge podcast to drop on the eve of the election, and there's more news that dropped, but we'll get right to that after this. Elon Musk looks into the camera on Rogan's podcast and makes his final warning before Election Day. I won't even say the quotes because I'm going to play the video. But he says, women are currently outpacing men in early voting by a substantial margin. Men need to get out tomorrow and vote. You should be picking up all your friends and getting to the polls. If you've already voted, your job is not done. Get at least one other person to the polls. Make a plan now. Do it. Yes, 110%. But we'll listen to Elon give his case right here on Rogan's show.
If the Dems win this election, they will legalize enough illegals to turn the swing states, and everywhere will be like California. There will be no escape.
That is so insane.
This is the final. This is it. This is the last chance.
Has anybody tried
And
to
I
push
just want to
back?
go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it, because it does. This is the last chance, man.
This is the guy that has more money than God saying this to the camera on this show that's going to reach millions upon millions of people on the eve of a huge election. So, yes, men, we have a job to do. We need to go and get our friends to vote and vote for Trump. That's what we need to do. We need to go and get everyone we know to go out and vote for Trump. We all know what life was like under Trump. We all know what life is like now. There's an obvious decision to be made. Go and get it done tomorrow so that things can be better for our families in the future. And one person that cares about that type of message, one person that really got affected by Elon coming on to his show, was Joe Rogan himself, as he puts out this tweet. The great and powerful Elon Musk, if it wasn't for him, we'd be fucked. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast. And this endorsement could be huge. While I don't think it's exactly correct to follow just a celebrity or someone you know's endorsement for a reason to vote for a candidate, this one could really swing a lot of people, especially men, because most of the people that listen to his podcast are men. So, absolutely incredible endorsement. Kamala and her team are probably fucking kicking themselves right now for not just showing up and doing the podcast. Even if she might have been awful, it might have been able to help her. Hell, Rogan might not have endorsed Trump if Kamala just showed up on his podcast when he extended the invitation, instead of demanding him to come out to her and only do an hour. Now we have Rogan endorsing Trump, Rogan deciding to throw his hat in the ring alongside Trump, just like many others before him now. And we're seeing this huge squad assemble behind Trump on this huge election coming up. Finally, we have Local Distance here tweeting out, the social stigma around supporting Trump has disappeared. Joe Rogan, Nick Bosa, who showed off his MAGA hat with Brock Purdy at an exit as a post-game interview, and Patrick Mahomes' mom have all endorsed Trump. Pat Mahomes' mom literally just did this tonight, saying, "Make America great again. Let's do it." And Skip Bayless called Trump a natural-born leader. It's not 2020. People aren't afraid. Now let's go win an election. Right here. Skip, let me say this about Donald Trump. I do not share many of his views, but I do believe he's a natural-born leader who isn't afraid to make tough decisions. Now, I know Skip, a man of a lot of crazy and out there statements in his time of broadcasting and sports, but I mean, he's just being real there. I think anyone who witnessed what happened on July 13th would have to make the same statement. Next, we have possibly the biggest endorsement, actually, one that's bigger than Joe Rogan, I would say. Mu Dang predicting Donald Trump will win the U.S. election. Famous baby hippos presented with separate cakes featuring both candidates' names, ultimately choosing to eat the Trump cake. Trump even has Mu Dang on his side. There is an unstoppable force happening here. There is something happening here that bigger than 2020 feels bigger than 2016. Everything feels like it's heading towards one direction. Now, we still got to act like we're down. Still got to act like there needs to be this huge blowout in the polls, because there does. We have to go out and vote. We have to go and do it. So if you're riding a high, stop that right now. Go out and vote tomorrow, unless you already voted. But even then, go out and get others to vote tomorrow. because don't have that high crash tomorrow night or Wednesday morning, whatever the hell we're going to hear the election results. Don't have that crash. Put it upon yourself to help actually feel that high and keep it that way. And now we're talking about highs here in the Trump campaign. Trump seems unstoppable right now. He's been incredible. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's doing his last rally right now, which we might tune into. But going to lows, the unfortunate low for the Kamala campaign, one of them, New York Times decided to write an article about Kamala Harris did an interview with Subway Takes that was never released because she literally sounded too stupid. This is not surprising. She went and did an interview with the Muslim, and they had some talking points they were going to talk about. This guy's not a normal journalist, so he got some things that he could bring up. So he's like, okay, that's fine. I'll go with whatever you need me to do. So I'll read right from here. 2.5 weeks after our initial meeting, I visited Rama again. He seemed harried and wore a faded t-shirt and relaxed fit jeans. The interview with Harris hadn't gone as planned. What happened was a dispute over Harris's take. Rama said he had been told that the vice president would be taking a stand against removing one's shoes on airplanes. When they sat down, however, Harris had surprised him with a different take. Bacon is a spice. Two senior campaign officials said this topic had been raised in advance. Rama and his managers dispute this. What's up, Squiggles? What is up? Glad to see you here. Kamala Harris, an Indian woman, sitting down with the Muslim man in an interview, went against, this is disputed, but went against what was previously going to be a topic to go ahead and say bacon is a spice to a Muslim man. This is incredible. This is earth-shattering, unbelievable lack of awareness by someone. Bacon is a spice. And I'll read on this because she goes into it. Yet again, ridiculous to see from someone in a campaign. Yes, exactly. Muslims hate bacon. Yes, Squiggles. That's exactly it. Rama, who doesn't eat pork for religious reasons, was taken aback. I don't know, he says in an unpublished video recording of the interview, his voice rising to an unusually high pitch. Harris elaborates that bits of cooked bacon can be used to enhance a meal like any other seasoning. Think about it. It's pure flavor, she says. She doubles down. She doesn't realize what she's saying. And no wonder this wasn't released. How bad could it be? And this is someone that could be elected. That's the most worrying part. This is someone that has a chance of being elected president of the United States. Someone who doesn't know their way around people at all. And it's been self-evident before. You watch any video of Kamala Harris, she doesn't know what she's doing around people. She becomes such a puppet, such a vassal for the machine that she can't have a normal conversation. Most likely one of the reasons why she never actually did Rogan is because she can't have a normal conversation. She would somehow ruin that as well. You can't have her go out there and do these things because she's going to talk about eating bacon with a Muslim man when that wasn't even a topic they discussed previously. Everything that they say about Trump, the man can have a conversation. The man can have fun, poke fun, have a normal conversation. Everyone talks about wanting someone that they could sit down and, have a beer with. You could legitimately do that with Trump, although he doesn't drink, but you could legitimately do that with him. And it seems like you could have a normal conversation. Kamala Harris does not seem like someone you could do that with. Does not seem like someone you could even get close to doing that with. She looks like she's someone that sticks her nose up at you and doesn't want to understand you at all. She just wants to get ahead and, maybe give in order to get to where she wants to go. Finishing this off, Rama asks Harris if he can use beef or turkey and what kinds of dishes would benefit from bacon. He then pauses the interview and tells her that he doesn't eat it. He asks if they can do the airplane's take instead. But on the advice of a staffer, Harris decides to declare her love of anchovies on pizza, an alternative the campaign had floated earlier in an email. Rama wraps the discussion 1 minute later. Well, he says with an awkward laugh, I'm 100% unsure on both of those. So this was never dropped, like Greg Price says here in the New York Times article. It says, this interview was never dropped for an obvious reason. It actually kind of makes me wonder on other things that she might have done that would never actually happened because she's just too much of a shell of a human being to get through something. But I do want to hit something that might be the biggest indicator of a Trump win. In fact, I think it is the biggest indicator of a Trump win. It's Jim Cramer saying Monday's market action suggests some traders anticipate a Harris win. If you follow, honestly, if you're on Twitter and you're just memeing around, you might even see Jim Cramer a lot. But if you follow anything financial, you know that Jim Cramer, anything he says the opposite happens. Anything he says the opposite happens. He's actually probably the most consistent on this shit. I would follow him for advice at any time because I know I'm getting the correct advice. I just go opposite and I'm all good. So Jim Cramer says it seems like Harris is going to win. So we all know that the Trump train is chugging along, baby. It's looking good. It's looking really good if Jim Cramer is against you. And after that, I don't really have much more. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to do just a short show today because I am going to do something a little bit more tomorrow. I may appear somewhere else tomorrow as well. So I want to get a little bit done today because, we need our sleep. We have a lot to do tomorrow. There is still a country to save tomorrow, a country to start saving tomorrow. Trump is doing his final rally right now, I believe. You can go watch it on YouTube somewhere. I'm not going to try to cover the whole entire thing. I'll let Trump speak for himself. But if you're riding a high, that's a good thing. If you're feeling a little low, okay, just put in more work. You know the work that needs to go into this stuff. We all know the work that needs to go into this stuff. No nerd stuff tonight, Squiggles. Mainly, I just wanted to cover election stuff tonight. It's election eve. I didn't really want to cover a ton of nerd stuff. I could talk about a little bit of nerd stuff if you have Lali Lulelo. There's no Metal Gear Solid things. Even though Kojima said that Joker 2 might be a movie that people praise 10 to 20 years from now. I didn't read his whole statement on it. It seemed a little silly to say that, but Kojima is a little out there sometimes. So it seemed a little silly to say that about Joker 2. Now, I haven't watched it. So there are some preconceptions I have that may be wrong. But from everything I heard of the movie, it seems like it goes against everything the first Joker really showed. And whether that was tactically done or not, I don't care. Because I just want a good movie. I want one that I can enjoy. And it didn't seem like one I could. It actually seemed like one that would taint the first Joker. I'm sorry, you're supposed to say we are. I'm sorry, Squiggles. You're supposed to say we are the pit. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I will not lie. I didn't. A lot of Metal Gear, I watched my brother play. I actually did beat 2. I never beat 3, but I have it, so I need to beat it. I did beat 4. Kojima is making a new spy game. Which one? Because I had seen some stuff about things that he was making. I didn't see anything about him making a new spy game. But either way, I'm sure it's going to be good, honestly. Kojima making a spy game, that's some good shit. But I am going to leave it off there. Mainly, I just want to get political stuff done tonight. Nerd stuff can maybe wait a little bit. I should make some videos, actually. I might make some videos on some nerd stuff, some quick hits, following some of the things going on. Because, the gaming world's always it's been blowing up for a while now. All roads of destruction seem to point to Ubisoft, and I might go over some of the findings from other people for that. But I'm gonna have to make some videos, put them on the channel or on my channel for nerd stuff. But thank you guys for coming in for this quick show on election things. I just want to have a little powwow about election stuff. There are a lot of good things happening for Trump, and I just want to remind you to get as many people as you can to go out and vote for Trump. I understand some people might have the reason to vote for Harris. I don't necessarily care. It's partly my show. I'm going to tell you to go out and go vote for Trump. So thank you all for listening, for participating. Thank you, Nate and Squiggles. It's always great to see you guys in here. But nice and short show. What's your channel? My channel is Questacola. There's nothing up there right now. It is Questacola, Questacola. But I'll post some things, and when it's actually active, when I'm actually doing things, I'll actually shill it more. I'll put it up more. But yet again, thank you for coming in tonight. Everyone, get your sleep. Big things happening tomorrow. I don't know everything I'm going to do tomorrow. The show's going to be, I'm going to say the show's going to be earlier than it is normally. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to figure something out to do the show tomorrow. I may or may not have a guest. Alex may or may not be here. I don't know exactly what's going on. But I'm going to do something tomorrow. Real quick, Squiggles. My aunt works elections, and she say a lot of Democrats are voting Trump and D down the rest of the ballots. Voting for Trump is, that's good news on the Trump vote. D down the rest. Don't love that. I won't lie to you. Don't love it. But getting Trump in with his dream team of people coming in is one of the number one things about this election. I wanted R down the ballot, to be completely honest with you. But if Trump's getting in, that's fine with me. I'm going to take that. Believe me, did much more over Kamala getting in. But I've said it more than enough. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for participating.